Hi everyone, I'm Elena and welcome to Makeup Fabulousness. So I was watching the tutorials and first there came the under $10 tutorial and all the makeup is under $10. And then there came the under $5 tutorial. I actually saw one by Noel. She was the first one to come up with that. So I have to give her props by listing her in the description box down below, and I'll link the tutorial. Also, like during the summer, I saw one from Laura Lee, so I figured give her props too because she kind of revived this. And me being in cruelty-free makeup, it's a lot harder to find good makeup that you can find for under $5. It's practically impossible to find vegan makeup unless it's on sale. So I wanted to do a cruelty-free look for you, and this is what I came up with. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, click subscribe and keep watching. Okay, so first what I want to do is put on my foundation. Now, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Coverall foundation, and I'm actually going to forego a foundation brush, although you can use the Wet n Wild foundation brushes, those that you can find under $5. So I'm just going to take this little bit and just take my mirror and tap it on with my fingers. Since this is a full coverage foundation, it should blend in well. You can always moisturize, and Wet n Wild does have a face primer, I believe, that's like under $5 and under, so you can use that. Face primer, you know, I never really used it when I was younger, so more of a new thing for me now. So at least you'll get to see how this foundation works without it. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly blend in with my fingers. Oh, what's the color? The color is fair. It's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but I can always fix that with bronzer, so I'm not too worried. It's like, I really didn't spend much time in the sun, but I still got a little bit of sun, so a little color, I think, this summer. Wow, it's a little light. But just with bronzing, or just with, you can blend in with your fingers. I mean, I know that everybody uses sponges, and I actually wanted to use, and then I'm going to take this powder brush by Wet n Wild and just brush off the excess. And then what I want to do is do my under eye. So I'm going to take this concealer by e.l.f. And the concealer is actually slightly, it's a great color. It's $3 and it's in fair, but their fair really isn't that fair. So, and I'm just gonna blend that in with my ring finger, or yeah, my ring finger. Just tap it in gently. See, it covers pretty well, as you can see there. It takes away my dark circles. So this is actually a very good concealer. And it doesn't feel heavy or tight, and I love that. And I'm just going to take the same bronzer and just slightly tap over it. There shouldn't be any flashback. And then I'm just going to take this little fluffy powder brush and gently brush away the excess. Okay, now it's time for eyes. So I'm going to put on this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Primer. I picked this off of the Wet n Wild website. I think it was only $4.99. The thing is, this is a little bit tricky compared to other primers because it dries really fast. So when you use it, you want to just blend it in really as fast as you can, because if you don't blend it in right, it's going to spot. Now I'm doing this as a very simplified tutorial. There are many shadows you can use for this, but I wanted to go outside my comfort zone a little bit. So I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Creme Brulee as a base color, and I'm just going to do a one color shadow with this. So I'm taking this little brush by Wet n Wild. It's their large shadow brush. I'm just going to take this and pat this all over my lid. Sorry, we have quite a few cars go by and this camera tends to pick up the noise, so bear with me. And of course they're doing construction on Main Street by my house, so you hear it even more so. And then what I want to do is take this little, I think it's like the elf, can't remember what they call this, oh, Smudge Pot. And for this, I'm taking a little bit of a stiffer brush, but this is also by Wet n Wild, but it's still very silky. And I'm just going to work it into the paint pot. This is called Cruising Chic. I picked this up off the e.l.f. website. Now these work really well with your fingers, but I'm using the brush to just have more of a precise. And it seems like it coats it on a little bit more. And it also gets into the corner of the eye. It doesn't have your finger in it. I think I put a little bit too much shadow on that, so I'm going to have to try and blend it out. Because this is a beautiful taupe, but it's very shimmery. So I'm going to try to blend this. I'm trying to use as few brushes as possible too. Okay, so I kind of worked a little bit on this off camera, but I wanted to use as few brushes as possible. One thing this brush did do is it picked up more of the shimmers, and it's a little bit easier to pack the shimmer on the lid. So if you want a more shimmery look, this is going to do this. But I used my favorite e.l.f. cleansing cloths. You can buy these for $3 for a package, and I use that off of the website. I like to buy them off the websites because then I can double up on them, and they have a special deal where you can get 2 for $5. But then again, this weekend is the e.l.f. 50% off sale, so if you're going to snap these up, that's what I would recommend doing. I'm just going to put a touch more on, this is really heavy, so I'm going to put a touch more on this side. Where did I put the paint pot? Here we go. So as you can see, it's really, really shimmery. So if you don't like a lot of shimmer, there's like a couple of matte shadows that e.l.f. has, and they're liquid, and you can still get the same kind of creamy effect on your eyes. And what's nice is these work really well for one color looks. And try to keep this on my crease. I have a really deep crease, so the shadow will just automatically just jump into it. So I'm going to take this creme brulee again and just lightly work into the crease with the brush, with the end of the brush. And even though this is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, it's nice because it'll blend in with the shadow, and it's kind of like a reverse effect with the crease, so I don't know, I don't mind wearing dark shadows across my eye if it's one color, because I have so much of a crease on this. I don't know if I have hooded eyes. I think they're getting more hooded as I get older. But there is still a little bit that I have to work with, so this will kind of also stop the cream shadow from getting out of place as well. Okay, next one I want to do is eyeliner. Now, I like the e.l.f. Mineral Liner. They also have quite a few pen liners, and you can usually find those all for under $5. This one is in coffee, and I just want to give more focus to the eye. What I like about pencil, it's really forgiving. So I'm still kind of learning the pen liners, and I don't have the straightest or most steady hand, but I like this because you can just brush it across. And I can usually do it with my eye closed. I know I shouldn't. It's easier on this side for some reason. Even though I'm not using a lot of shadows, you still get definition with eyeliner. And then what's nice is you can always take these e.l.f. wipes. Like I got a little bit of pencil in there. You take the e.l.f. wipes and it's so convenient for getting, it also gives you a nice like winged out look without, I don't do a lot of wings, that's something I have to work on. But what's nice about this is it's not going to transfer as much either. Alright, now I'm going to put on mascara. I discovered this mascara, it's called I Love Extreme. It's by Essence, and I really do like their False Lash Princess mascara, the one that's the black with the green. That's an excellent mascara, but this actually makes my lashes very voluminous. And you get a nice big fat bottle. And it's also $4.99 at Ulta. So what I like to do, and I like to start at the base and just brush upward. And sometimes you can rotate your brush so that you tend to not like have to constantly dip in and dip in. So this is the one where I just did it plain, and this is the one where I rotated. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put more on the top lash. And as you can see with the brush, it's like really short bristles, so it's going to give you a lot of volume. If you want length, you're gonna have a brush with longer bristles, and that gives you more of a natural look. Oops. But like any mascara, whoa, this is, see how I did this? It's like Clump City, whereas when I just used the one end, it gave me a nicer line. So I'm gonna fix this because this is gonna drive me absolutely crazy. I know clumps are all in, but this is just like too much. Real Techniques. It does wonders for my eyes. Now, as you can see, all the clumps are gone, and you can use a wash. You can use one of these cloths to kind of work it, or you can even use your fingers. But the mascara had dried a little bit by then, so I'm just going to take a little bit and just go very lightly over the lower lashes. I like to leave my lower lashes pretty light, you know, since this is basically a natural look. But I do want some drama, so I'm going to do false eyelashes. For some reason it's easier for me to get the false eyelashes down as opposed to the wing liner. So the lashes I'm going to use are these Natural by Ardell, which it's going to just basically give me more volume. And I probably shouldn't have put on so much mascara, but I'm not a big lash kind of person. And what's nice about these is that, whoops, I just bent it, darn. Okay, what's nice about these is that they're shorter on the inside and longer on the outside. These are very thin too. So what you do is take some dual lash glue. Sometimes this does get a little messy, and so you'll may want to use one of those lash glues that have the brushes instead. One thing about lashes, they can be very messy. Okay, and then I like these little tools because it gives me more precision. You can use tweezers too, but for me, I feel more confident with this when I'm applying it. Now I'm going to do my right lash, so I'm going to try to get this as close to the inner lash as possible. I have to look down to do this, guys, or I will not be able to do it. Okay, so see, I have it partly in, and you want to get it in the middle. And then just let it fall into your natural lash line. And just lightly tap on it and make sure it's pressed in. One thing is, since this is really thin, it was very easy for me to apply. Just went right in there. The thicker lash bands, which can be really tricky, especially if you have mascara on, because they're not going to be as easy to maneuver because they're thicker, so there's more material. And you can see the difference. This is with the lash, this is without. Alright, now the lashes are done. So I'm going to take brows and use my favorite e.l.f. powder product. This is in light, and this works for me. This is a hit or miss product, really. And what's nice is that it has this cream gel, this cream, and I like to use the brush that they give me with it. And I just work it into the areas that are kind of sparse. Guys, it's the worst time to shoot after school because everybody is going down my street. Sorry about the noise if you're hearing it in the background. Let's see, I put it on a little bit heavy here. I'm going to try to work with my natural brows to kind of even that out. Then I'm just going to lightly take my e.l.f. cloth and just lighten it a little bit. That worked pretty well. I'm going to take the powder side and just powder over that, and it should blend in with the brows pretty well. I'm going to lighten it up a little. I'll have everything written down in the description box with their correct titles, so just bear with me. Okay, so it gives me a little bit of a more defined brow, but I've never really used the dip brow pomades. I have no idea how that works. I usually go for a natural brow. When in doubt, a lot of times I just use a pencil, and sometimes I use a brush mascara. So next, what I want to do is my cheeks, or actually my bronzer. e.l.f. has these duos. This one is in Fiji matte. And what I like about this is it's all matte, and the bronzer, it's light enough where it's not going to be too orangey. You see that? It's a warm bronzer, but it's not too orange. So I'm going to take this blush and just use the bronzer and bronze a little bit up here. What I like about it is that when I use it, it's natural. And then just bronze a little bit so that my neck kind of blends in with, and a little bit on under my cheeks to give myself I don't really contour, but this gives me a little bit more color, and I still have a little highlight. Now for blush, I'm going to use this color, which is a rose color, and this is the Lisa Frank, oops, let me show you. This is the Lisa Frank blush brush from Glamour Dolls Makeup. It's only $4.99. It's a little bit stiffer compared to the Wet n Wild, so you're going to get more control, and I'll show you. See, it really gets the blush on without making it streaky. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to pay a little bit more, because good brushes really do make a difference. Next, what I want to do is highlighter, and I will always stand by the Essence Pure Nude. It's a color that works on almost anyone. If you see, it's just like a beautiful, it just really blends in. It gives you a nice champagne-y beige highlight. If you're really fair, you might just have to use this very lightly, but I really think this works. And I'm going to use their highlighting brush, which is a little bit bigger than their small tapered brush. I like the small tapered brush for highlighting, believe it or not. It's actually a great brush. And I need my friendly little mirror. I don't know what I do with my, there we go. And I don't put a lot of highlighter on, so I'm just doing it above my cheekbones, and I might just do a little bit on my forehead. I have these like wrinkles here, so I'm always over conscious about doing it on my forehead. I really don't highlight the nose, but what's nice about this is that it's almost my skin tone, so it just gives me a nice subtle glow instead of, you know, wham bam, thank you ma'am, shiny glow from the stars. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell it because I have quite a bit of light here, but hopefully it should work. And then last one I'm going to do is lips. This is e.l.f. Moisturizing Lipstick in Ravishing Rose, but we're going to work with it. It's very soft, so I'm going to put this down just a touch because it's going to reach the breaking point. I think what might have happened is when it was sent to me, it shifted and broke that way. Now you can always use a cooler color too. I like this because it's a cross between coral and pink. Actually, it's just pure rose. Also, you can press your lips together when you're putting on lipstick. Can't do it as much with liquid lipstick unless you're using that Chatty glitter flip stuff. For some reason, I can't warm up to the glitter flip because I'm always thinking, the glitter's on my lips, and if you're eating something, what if it winds up in your food? Or would you wind up swallowing it? I just can't get into glitter lips. Metallic, yes. Glitter, no. What's nice is you won't have to over apply it. I have to double check on the prices of all these, but I'll have those in the description box below. This is the look, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I just wanted to show you because so many of you are going back to school. I wanted to show you a look that can work. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit like or subscribe. And I thank you for joining me. Okay, we'll see you very soon.